Hey YouTube, Mark here. I'm headed out for a hike today. Actually, I gotta rephrase that. I'm heading out for a hike tonight. It is already about 6:30. There's maybe an hour worth of sunlight before the sun sets below the horizon. I am still about an hour away from my trail. I am going to go back to the Spring Hills Trail that is north of Madison, and this is kind of a quick trip because I've been just having a horrible week and I just want to get the hell out of the house, have some time to myself, think things over. Maybe later tonight I'll get into what's going on, but yeah, it's just been kind of rough and I just need to get out and relax for a little while. So yeah, I'll see you guys at the trailhead. I just wanted to quickly record this before I actually lose all the daylight that we have. All right, see you at the trailhead. All right guys, I'm here. I think I misspoke when I was driving. I think I said that I was going to the Spring Hills segment, and that wasn't quite right. It's the Springfield Hills segment. But I'm here and I'm pretty much ready to go. Of course, being this late at night, I don't know what you're gonna see. And we've kind of already walked through the segment, you know, in the daylight back when it was almost winter and almost spring. But yeah, so now it's going to be an interesting hike because I can't really film much as I'm moving around. I do have a headlamp up in my bag here. If it gets too dark and I really can't see where I'm going, I'll be able to take out the headlamp and be able to figure out where I am. But for the most part, as I'm walking, maybe I'll talk to you or something like that just to use up a little video time. All right, let's get going. Okay, guys. I know this is going to be a really weird video compared to everything else I do. Here I am hiking out in the middle of the night. Well, it's not the middle of the night. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. But it is just so dark. I can kind of see the path. And I will, of course, have to keep my eyes open for blazes. So up there is the road. Beyond that, if you're hearing car noises and stuff, it's Highway 12. On this side of me, it's all corn. It's just a big cornfield. On my last video here at the Springfield Hills segment, there was snow everywhere. I was slipping and sliding on the ice on the trail. God, what a day that was. We found the Dispersed Camping Area here for this trail. And I said maybe sometime that spring or in the summer, we should come out here and camp on the Dispersed area. So that's what we're doing. Now the rules for dispersed camping are long distance hikers, which I have no idea what constitutes as a long distance hiker. And it's for multiple day hikers. Well, if I hike in, that's one day. I sleep, get up the next day, and hike out. That's 2 days. That's multiple days. I can't really see much of anything, but I know where I'm at. I remember going up to trees over there, placing the camera to film me walking on the path here. Damn near fell on my ass. Technically, I am abiding by the Ice Age rules, but they don't specify what constitute a long distance hike. So I'm going to do it my way. I'm a multi-day hiker. I know. You guys are yelling at me. Oh, you're just trying to give yourself a viable reason of what you're doing is right. And, well, of course I am. Tell you, this hike is going a lot faster. Like I said, I can't really see much of anything, but I can tell as I'm passing areas, you know, where I'm at from my memory of the last hike in the snow. So I'm already coming up on that little drainage creek crossing. That's actually right up here into these big trees, which of course you guys really probably can't see. My camera has a infrared night light, but it's not that bright. Basically it shines on me and that's about it. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Yep. Whoa, that was a little steeper than I thought it was gonna be. There's the drainage right there. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll catch up to you when I get to camp. I'll bring out my head torch so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll set up camp, tell you what's going on, how I'm actually doing this, and why I whipped it together so fast. All right, guys. It was starting to get so dark I couldn't see the trail, so I had to pull up my headlamp. I know you can't see me, I still got my hat on. Yeah. A lot of humidity in the air. It's cooling down pretty quick. Gosh, wish you guys could see me. I know, I got an idea. Hold on. There, now you guys can see me. So I'm at the section where the road over here gets into the field, and then over on this side is where the that shed is. So yeah, I'm getting there. All right, I gotta get this off because I'm getting blinded by it. All right, I gotta keep moving. Okay, I can't really see very well, so I had to stop to make this recording. But I think I'm coming close to the Blue Blaze Trail to take me to the Dispersed Camping Area. So I'm getting really close now. I tell you, walking alone in the woods at night, that's pretty freaky stuff. All right, let's keep moving. All right, guys, there's my sign, a Blue Blaze, for what you can see of it. Here, let's do this again. There we go. So there's my Blue Blaze and my dispersed camping path. It's right down here on the ground. I don't know if you can see it. So let's go to camp. Oh, okay, guys. Let's see. I wonder. I was just wondering how that would look. It's a red light. Okay, guys. So I'm going to start setting up my tent. I'm at my camping grounds, and I'm actually standing on a cleared pad that they have built for backpackers. And I'm just going to set up my tent. We'll crawl inside. The dew is coming down pretty heavy, so I don't want to stay out here too late. So let's get the tent set up and get inside. Oh, okay, guys. I'm not using the lapel microphone right now. Oh, the humidity is just... My shirt is soaked. Of course, I wore a cotton shirt instead of grabbing one of my my synthetic shirts. So it's going to be a cold, wet night. But the tent's up. I got the door over here. So I got a door over on this side. I actually have a door on that side too. But I got that open. There's a vent up here that I have wide open. I'm just trying to grab some of the airflow. I'm hoping that the air will start flowing in and start drying me off a little bit. Otherwise, I could be in for a cold night. The sleeping bag I have tonight, it's not my typical military sleep system. This is the REI Radiant, I think it's called. I cannot for the life of me remember what their temperature ratings are on it. I just don't remember. And then of course I've got my my sleep pad, which I've always used on the military stuff. So I've got no meals for this hike. I figured I was coming up after dinner, and I plan on leaving first thing in the morning. I can swing by a McDonald's or something like that on my way out of here in the morning and pick up something to eat, or Burger King or Taco Bell or wherever, Hardee's. But anyway, so I didn't bring any meals up here. However, I do have some food. I bought a packet of what I call Gorp. This is, I think they call this a trail mix. Let me see. Yeah, Monster Trail Mix. It's got peanuts, M&Ms, milk chocolate chips, raisins, chocolate chips, chocolate candies, and peanut butter chips. So basically a little bit of protein with the peanut butter, or a little protein with the peanuts, and then just a lot of sugar, really. I've got these for my breakfast tomorrow. Nature's Bakery. These are oatmeal crumble, apple flavored. So I've got a bunch of those for breakfast, so I've got plenty. I've got 2 bottles of water, which I haven't even touched yet, and I'm thinking about breaking one open now because I am very, very thirsty after doing all that work, setting up the tent and everything. It was kind of weird. I can hear Highway 12 in the background. You guys can probably hear it. Constant motor noises going up and down that highway. But I could have swore I heard voices. Just sounded like some kids hooting and hollering and stuff like that. But I haven't heard them for a while, so I don't know if they are coming up this way. I don't know. You know, maybe they were just down by the shed down there. I don't know. Hell, they could have been on bicycles riding on the on Highway 12. I just don't know. But I could have swore I heard some voices. So anyway, I've got my bed set up, I've got the tent set up, and it is, let's see, what I do on my phone. It's a little after 9. So, I was telling you guys I was having a pretty rough week. Actually, it's been a pretty rough few weeks, okay? A couple weeks ago, I'm sitting there watching TV, doing some editing for YouTube videos and stuff like that, and we've got big huge windows in our living room that look out through the front and out to the street, and we got a large porch on the front of the house, and I'm sitting there watching TV. The blinds are open because it's just a beautiful day out, and all of a sudden a cop comes walking up onto my porch. Now, it's happened many times before. I live in Beloit. It's a crap neighborhood, and if there's something really severe going on, they will send out officers door to door telling people to lock their doors and, you know, just keep barred up for a little while until whatever situation they have going on is diffused. So it's like, okay, great, what's going on this time? So I get up and I go and answer the door, and it's a female officer, and she goes, "Are you Mark Vanderpaul?" I go, "Yeah." "Is your daughter Victoria?" I go, "Yeah." "Oh wait, we got her bike over here." "Why? Why do you have her bike? Where did you find it?" Well, you know, I'm thinking, holy crap, did the bike get stolen or something like that? And, you know, those are the things that were going through my mind. And so I'm walking with the officer to the back of the car, and I'm sitting there going, why do you have my daughter's bike? She was involved in an accident. What? Huh? She goes, nobody's called you? I go, no, nobody's told me jack shit. No. She She goes, yeah, she was involved in an accident on her bike, and she's at the hospital in the emergency room. And it's like, holy crap, I took the bike, I literally threw the bike in the backyard. I had no socks and shoes on, ran inside, got socks and shoes, grabbed a mask real quick because of COVID. That's the only time I've said that word on this channel since it all began. I hated saying it. But anyway, I jump in the car and I just haul ass down the driveway, boom, down the street, and away I go to the hospital. The hospital's way on the north side of town, so it takes me a good 15 or more minutes just to get out there. And as I'm getting ready, I've got my phone in my hand and I'm doing a voice to text message to my wife saying, Vic was involved in an accident, I've got your car, I'm going to go to her right now. Jen had to work the night before, so she was sleeping. And this was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it was closer to 2. So Jen was still sleeping. And I just hauled ass to the hospital. I get there, and they let me in the back. And I found her room and stuff like that. And there was probably about 4 people in the room with her. She is unconscious. Every so often, she kind of groggles awake. Her eyes are just like all over the place. Just, you know, and I'm trying to talk to her. And every so often, she would hear me or I'd get her attention. And she'd kind of, her eyes got like really big. And she would just stare at me. And then all of a sudden, her eyes go weird again. And she'd pass out again. Well, she had a huge like road rash up here on the top of her head, and she had some blood coming out of her nose. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, can I get some information on what's going on? And one of the nurses was saying, well, she was involved in an accident on her bicycle, and it was not a hit and run. She didn't, you know, she wasn't out on the street and a car clipped her or anything like that. Somehow an eyewitness said that she just lost control of the bike and fell. Well, with the abrasion up here, she would have had to like launched forward and up and over. You know, she had to go ass over elbow for her to hit here. And then the other thing would be that if she fell, you know, you put your hands out like this to catch yourself when you fall. It's kind of an instinct. She had no abrasions on her hands. It was all on the back of her hands. So somehow she launched up and over that bike, and we really don't know. The report I got from the EMS people didn't say anything about how she was found. You know, the eyewitness, the bystanders and stuff that were around just say she fell. But that was it. And when she hit the ground, she was kind of convulsing a little bit. When the bystanders checked her, you know, they opened up her eyes, and her eyes were just kind of all over the place. EMTs showed up, took her to the hospital, and when I was there, you know, every so often I would say, Vic, Daddy's here, Vic, Daddy's here, and I thought I was getting through to her. And she would actually mumble Daddy every once in a while, but she would also mumble other things that I just couldn't understand what she was saying. And finally my wife came, and we were in the room together, and everything was going really good. I mean, she was out, you know, and then she'd come to for a little while, and again I would talk to her and say, Daddy's here. And sorry guys, I'm getting choked up about this. This scared the shit out of me. It really did. And she was always fighting with her. She had oxygen going up her nose, and every so often she would pull it off, and she would, like, you know, rub her nose and stuff like that. Well, you know, she's got that bloody nose and she's got blood coming down. It's probably a little irritating to her. So, you know, no big deal. You know, she would do that for a little while and say, okay, now we got to put the oxygen back on. And then she would pass out again and be out for a couple more minutes, and then she'd come to and kind of do the same thing. Well, finally, all of a sudden, she was like really moving her arms around and stuff like that, and it's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? And I held her down, I just grabbed her and I held her, and I was like, it's okay, Daddy's here. And it calmed her down, and then she kind of fell back asleep again. But a couple of minutes later, she was up and she was doing it all over again, and then all of a sudden she started grabbing, and she had IVs in her arms, and she was grabbing and pulling the IVs out. And it's like, no. And now, we're getting nurses coming in and stuff like that, helping us out, helping us to, hold her down a little bit, because she was getting very violent and very aggressive. And suddenly she just started screaming at the top of her lungs, just gibberish. Massive swear words. I mean, if she was a sailor, they would have all been blushing, because it was effing the fucking, my God, fuck God. Those were the only words I could understand her saying. Everything else was, just incoherent stuff. And I'm sitting there trying to hold her down. There's, what was it? The doctor intern, or the on-call doctor, or whatever, down in the ER. They had like 3 nurses and 2 cops holding my daughter down, and she was kicking and fighting and scratching and cursing. And finally, I'm sitting there, can we get restraints on her? I'm actually yelling at the nurses to get restraints. We cannot keep holding her down like this. Well, finally, they got the restraints down, and they actually started to inject her with something to actually calm her down and basically knock her out. And when all this is going on, I finally let go of my arm, and someone else came in and grabbed it, and I had to leave the room. I was just broken down. I was crying. I haven't cried that hard in years, guys. I mean, that was some tough shit, because basically the thought that was going through my mind was, this is our new life. This is our daughter. She's not gonna be able to talk. She's gonna be just incoherent, and and it was scaring the shit out of me. Well, she was starting to come to again, and her eyes seemed to focus more. When she would wake up, I would say, Vic, Daddy's here. And she would look at me and go, Daddy? And God, that made me feel so much better. But when we were talking with her, when she started coming to and understanding more of what was going on, she doesn't remember the emergency room at all. She doesn't remember the accident at all. I go, what do you remember of that day? She goes, I remember getting up and starting to get dressed. She goes, I remember putting underwear on and then waking up in the hospital with no underwear on. And yeah, it was just an amazing situation to be put in. It really was. I didn't know what to do. I was beside myself. But, I mean, the good part about the story is that she's normal. Okay, she came out of it. She doesn't remember anything until Mom and I kissed her goodbye at 8 o'clock at night, because that's when visiting hours were over. We were kissing her goodbye and said we'll be back in the morning. That was the first thing she remembered when she had that accident. So, but all of her scans, all of the CAT scans, the MRIs, the X-rays, everything was negative. We don't know why she fell off the bike. She was carrying some stuff while she was riding. We're thinking maybe something got caught in the front wheel and just locked it up and sent her flying up and over. That's the only thing that I can think of. The other option is that maybe she had a seizure. I mean, that's the scary option. But, that's just something that we've got to now keep an eye open for is, did she have a seizure? So, yeah. But she's better now. The wound on her head is all healed up. And she's fine. She still has no recollection of the accident. And in fact, her memory is actually, she was on her bicycle, traveling on a bike path, which is basically the sidewalk. And she remembers coming up to a school, I think it's a junior high school. She doesn't remember passing that school, the strip mall across the next street, the businesses along that way. She doesn't, and then the accident actually happened another 3 blocks down. So there's a lot there that she just doesn't remember. And then of course she doesn't know anything of what happened in the emergency room. And I'll tell you though, I got her to laugh when she was coming to, and after they knocked her out and she was coming to, and she was starting to kind of focus more on me and could understand things I was saying. And during her fighting, her left hand got free, and she came around and just slapped me, and my glasses went pew. And I told her that she actually hit me hard enough to knock my glasses off, and she smiled and chuckled. She goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, you did. You hit me." And she doesn't remember me telling her that down in the emergency room and how she reacted. But when I told her the next day when we came back and we saw her and she could, start remembering things, and she was talking and stuff like that. And I told her the story again, and again, she kind of smiled and she goes, "Really?" She was almost like happy that she slugged me. But yeah, I put it up on Facebook that, I needed prayers for, what was going on with the family, but I wasn't really putting up anything of what was going on, just that my daughter was involved in a bicycle accident. And I was pleasantly surprised by how many of my friends, family, and all those that, really rallied, and they were replying back, prayers sent your way, and the emojis and all the other stuff that went with it. It was just really cool. So that was a big scare that happened, and she's now a little afraid to ride a bicycle. In fact, I don't know if she's ridden it since. But now the new thing that happened, a couple of months ago, my mom was feeling some pain, so it was normally something that kind of went away on its own. She's been having them every once in a while. It was almost like a cramping sensation, she said. And this time the cramp just wouldn't go away, and it was very uncomfortable. And so she went to the emergency room, and they ran a few tests and took x-rays and stuff like that. And then they found something in those tests. And I really don't want to say what it is, because as of right now, we don't know what it is. She's going to be going through some testing. This could be a life-changing thing. And so yeah, I just got this news yesterday. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm out here doing this trip, with everything that happened with Vic, and now my mom's stuff going on there. And then just to add that little bit more, we're actually starting to think that we need to put our black cat Cinder down. He's over 15 years old, and he doesn't groom himself anymore. He's just like a knotted mess of hair. He weighs like maybe 3 pounds. If he's lucky, he would weigh 3 pounds. And he's got this ear thing, and he's actually had the ear thing for, I want to say, almost 10 years, really. We've done everything we could. We've tried medication on it. nothing has helped. And now that he's older, and we're starting to see a few things, and we're thinking that his mental capacities and maybe a few physical things are going on. I mean, he's lost toenails, the claws and stuff like that. I'd be just walking through the house, I'd look down, and here's a claw laying. He's only got the back ones, he doesn't have front ones. But yeah, there'd just be a claw laying on the floor. It's like, what the frack? But something happened again yesterday when we were over at Mom and Dad's, and we were talking with Mom about what was going on. It was just me and Jen over there, and Vic all of a sudden texted Jen saying, something's going on with Cinder, call me right away. Well, we were too busy talking about Mom and her thing. Mom's more important than a damn cat. So anyway, we finished our conversation with Mom and visiting and explaining and stuff like that, and we're finally heading home, and Jen calls Vic and says, okay, so what's going on? She goes, I don't know, Cinder started walking weird and kind of like stumbling, and he didn't walk in a straight line. It's like he kept on going towards one way, and apparently she thought he was limping on one of his legs and stuff like that, and she had picked him up and actually put him in his bed. And he got up, got into the other cat bed, because we have two cats, so we have two beds, but they both sleep in both beds, so it doesn't matter. But he got up out of the bed she put him in, went over to the other bed, shit in it, and then went back to the other bed. Now the thing is, she saw all that happen. When he was walking around, she was taking her phone and actually recording what was going on so we could see it. And she also found blood over by the cat litter box. We don't know where the blood came from. Okay, he's got that ear infection, and it is a severe ear infection. And maybe something broke free and popped and something like that, and it oozed and just dripped a lot of blood. Maybe he was scratching at it with his hind leg and clawed himself open. We don't know. I mean, it was a significant, maybe 5 or 6 drops of blood right around the kitty litter pot, the little bucket. So we've now been talking that maybe we need to consider putting him down. And I mean, it's one of those things, he eats and he poops, he walks around and he wants attention, but the fur matting down like that, the severe ear infection that he's got, his weight, and a few other things, he seems to walk a little funny, and the episode that he just had, maybe it's time that we put him down. I don't know. So yeah, it has not been a wonderful past month or so, and especially the past week, past couple of days. Oh, it's been nuts. It really has been. Alright, well, that's kind of why I'm out here and I'm doing this quick hike. I just wanted to get out of the house and get out into nature a little bit and just clear my head and think things through. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. Alright, so this is Mark saying I will see you guys in the morning. I probably won't record much because you won't be able to see me doing anything. It's just too dark out here. I'm going to go up and use a tree real quick, if you know what I mean. Get myself ready for bed. Maybe have a snack or so. Alright, I'll see you guys in the morning. Looks like it's coming up on 7 a.m. It is currently 61 degrees. And 91% humidity. Oh. Winds are chugging at 10 mile an hour. Oh, I didn't sleep bad when I was actually asleep. Did a lot of tossing and turning. I'm not looking forward to the hike out at 91% humidity, I'll tell you that. Alright, I'm gonna start moving. I was definitely warm last night. Get some breakfast, find a tree, you know what I mean. Alright, I'll catch up with you guys later. Got a Crystal Light peach mango tea. It's one of my favorite flavors. You've probably seen me drink this stuff all the time. I've also got, this one's about half full yet. I'm just going to leave that as regular water. Still got my gorp. I only ate a couple of handfuls last night. I didn't eat much at all. Not bad. It's a little sweeter compared to the stuff I actually make myself. My exhausted state last night when I was reading this, I was reading peanuts, M&Ms, chocolate candies, raisins, chocolate chips, and peanut butter chips. But now that I'm more focused, it's peanuts, M&M, milk chocolate candies. That's all one thing. I was reading the M&Ms and milk chocolate candies as two different things. I was trying to show you these last night, but because of my infrared, it was kind of whiting it out. Nature's Bakery oatmeal crumble apple. Pretty good stuff. Not bad. Look how thick the apple filling is. Again, though, very, very sweet. Last week, the entire week, literally, we had rain every day. So the ground out here is actually pretty wet and a little muddy. So I've actually tracked a lot of mud into the tent just from going out and using the bathroom. I actually just pulled this out just so I could kind of cuddle up with it. I've actually got big pillows on my bed that I do that with when I'm sleeping. I just gotta have my arms wrapped around something. And of course my wife thinks it's annoying if I do it to her. The traffic noise on Highway 12 lightened up considerably after probably about 10:30 at night. It got pretty mellow. I wasn't hearing things as much. So when I did my tent setup last night, I used all my stakes. But one of the things that Big Agnes does, and I'm not real thrilled with it, they got guy out points on the tent, one in each corner basically. But they don't give you a stakes for those. You actually have to buy more stakes. And I already used, 8 stakes to set up this tent. Oh, one thing I did not tell you last night, and that is Jen and I are considering expanding our family. We've been talking about it for a little while, and yes, I think it's going to happen. Hoping for a boy, but we'll see. Oh wait, no. We're not wanting another kid. Okay, we're coming up on to 50 years old. We do not want to take care of a baby. I'm talking a dog. Okay. I was blessed to get my most favoritist dog a long time ago, and I mean like 20 years ago or more, and I had gotten a Great Dane, a blue Great Dane. Oh God, he was a wonderful dog. You know, his only bad habit was that he would eat the eyes off of stuffed animals, you know, those hard crunchy plastic eyes. He would eat those. And my kids loved stuffed animals, so we were constantly having to sew like little patchwork eyes on all of the stuffed animals. But he was just a great dog. Big, huge. I would take him out for a run, and I would jump on my bike, and I would just bicycle next to him, and he's and the people, when I was sitting there, I'd run Thor down the street. You know, I'm pedaling on the bike, and people would go, "Oh my God, look at that dog!" So just the reaction I would get from people, you know, and we'd go down to like see the fireworks displays down at the river, you know, for the 4th of July and stuff like that. And I would walk him down there, and people would want to pet him and ask questions about him. And yeah, really, he was a cool dog. He wasn't the absolute best. They were, you know, he got his naughty bits too, but one of the things I can remember him doing was we were going to have I think it was a beef roast for dinner one night, and I pulled out the beef to set it on the counter and let it thaw out. And I went back through the kitchen probably about an hour or so later. That 3-pound beef roast was gone. Here I found Thor laying on the floor, taking a nap with all the plastic and styrofoam packaging laying next to him. And then the other thing that he did that we were always just baffled about was he would eat the shit out of the dirty diapers. He would literally pull them out of the diaper bin, rip them apart, and eat my kids' shit. Okay, you know, it was a little bit of a mess to clean up, but he's eating the shit, so I don't have to clean up shit. But then when he poops, he was like pooping out tampons. Oh, God. But yeah, he was a great dog. I'm 6.5 feet tall, head to toe. This dog could stand on his back legs, put his front legs on my shoulders, and lick me in the face. He was a big dog. I loved him. Then, shortly after we lost him, he lived to be about, oh golly, 12 years old, 10 years old. I think it was around 10. And then we got Bree. Bree was an amazing little dog, almost never barked. And that was one of the things that actually drew me to her when we picked her up out of a kennel. You know, every dog in that entire kennel would be jumping up on the fences and barking and stuff like that, and she wasn't. She was just sitting there, her tail was wagging and her butt was scooting on the floor, but she wasn't barking. And I looked at the workers there at the Humane Society. I was looking at the workers at the Humane Society. It's like, I want to see that dog. Pulled her out, and she jumped on me and was licking my face, and she loved it, and we just took her home. We took her home that day. It was weird too, because out of all the animal shelters around us, the one Rock County, Dane County, Walworth County, they've always got the same damn dogs. German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Labradors, you know, stuff like that. Very, very common dogs, and I don't want those type of dogs. And yeah, Bree was just different. She had a shepherd. She had a white shepherd in her, but she was small. I think she only weighed around, what, like 40 pounds or something like that. So she was a smallish dog. And yeah, she was really good. But now we've been a couple of years without her, and we're kind of, at least I'm kind of missing not having a dog around, you know, and I'm kind of missing them. So, Jen and I have been talking. I was at every so often I would go into Petland or Furry Babies or something like that, just to look at the dogs, you know, see what they had in there. I had no intention of actually buying anything until, what was it, about a month ago. I went into a Petland, and they had, of course, their display of puppies, and they had a bloodhound in there. Oh, I couldn't believe it. It's like, oh, I'd love to have a bloodhound. That's like my second favorite dog in the world is a bloodhound. You know, bloodhound and then Great Dane. And so I asked the guy, it's like, how much do you want for the bloodhound? He's like, oh, you know, that he's $3,500. Are you shitting me? $3,500 for a dog? Well, we got financing available. And I'm not gonna fucking finance a damn dog. I couldn't believe it. $3,500. I ended up actually going home, started doing research on my computer, found bloodhound breeders, and none of them are really close to me, you know, but I can go drive to them and get back to my house in a day. Okay, so it might be like 5 hours down, 5.5 hours back, or whatever, but you know, that's completely doable for me. I love driving. So yeah, for me to drive 5 hours to pick up a dog, I can do that. But the breeders are only wanting anywhere between, I would say, like $700 and $1,000. That's more doable than $3,500. God. So I have actually been talking with a breeder down in Missouri. And it looks like they could be having a litter of puppies in like November or December or something like that. Maybe January. And I told them to please keep me in mind. Let me know when the litter comes, because I'm very interested. So yeah, in the next few months, I'm hoping that I'll get a new dog. I'm hoping. It hasn't been quite decided yet. My wife and I are still talking about it, but I think it's highly in my favor that I'm going to get a dog. This is a new bag I bought just yesterday. It's a compression sack for my sleeping bag. And the original bag that I had for this, the original stuff sack, alone is that big. And I was sitting there putting the sleeping bag in, and it's like, man, I could really, if this thing was a compression bag, I could really get it down smaller. So that's what I've done. I went and got this. It's just a Field and Stream. Got it at Dick's Sporting Goods. And, I think I told you guys last night that my sleeping bag is a REI product, and it's a sleeping bag that they have taken out now. It's called the Radiant. I don't remember the stats on it, but the sleeping bag, I was able to get the last one in the store. Got it at like a 50% discount. So that was cool. And then the bag was a long, wide sleeping bag. It's like, oh, cool. I'm a big, tall guy. I need a long, wide. So yeah, it works very nice. I fit in it pretty comfortably. So that's it. I mean, it's a pretty good size around, but it's a little bit bigger than a basketball. Oh, one more thing before I get out of the tent. When I was at REI, I was looking for some stuff for doing the repairs to my motorcycling tent because it started leaking. And I went walking by the book section, and I was just kind of looking to see what they got. And they had the new 2020 Ice Age Trail Guide. So this is the 2020/2022 edition. So I was wondering if they updated anything as far as the ratings go. And I don't see anything. I was wondering if they would change the hill rating of like the Blackhawk segment or the Whitewater segment to like maybe a 4 or something like that, because damn, that spot is very hilly. But they didn't. It's still rated a 3. But they've got new segments in here now, so I'm very interested. They have this Harrison Hills segment, which is way up north. They have this segment on in the book now, which my 2014 book didn't have. So yeah, there's a couple of new segments, and otherwise the information is pretty much the exact same. I mean, they use the same little icons to show what a trail has, so all this information here is still all the same. The write-ups are the same. The maps are pretty much the same. So yeah. So I at least got the information on these newer segments now. So, and that was the other thing I wanted to look up. I'm wondering if that Clover Valley segment, I'm wondering if that had... Okay, yep. So that Clover Valley segment now has the Dispersed Camping Area on there. So yeah, this is very, very current and very up to date. All right, so I gotta finish packing up. I gotta get my food stored away in my pack lid here, and then we can get the tent taken down. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, guys. So there's my Big Agnes. It's the Copper Spur 3. I couldn't remember what the model name was. But yeah, I got this tent because I thought Jen was going to be coming with me. So I wanted a nice big tent for the two of us to sleep in. I wanted a 3-man. But I also wanted something that was, right around maybe the 5-pound range. I didn't really go much heavier net, and Big Agnes was the one I went with. All right, well, I'm going to set you up over there, and you guys can watch me break down the tent. Oh, I wanted to show you, because of this framed tent pad that they have here for use, which they've also got eyelets on the wood there, so you can tie down on those eyelets as well. But what I had to do, my tent was not in the right position, so I actually did that. I just put the guy outline on a piece of wood. Pretty cool, huh? And then just the weight of the wood is pulling it out. I did the same thing on this side. Now that other one did not have an actual guy rope on there. It's basically just like this doorway here, but there's little loops on the end, and I was able to find a branch that I could just hook basically those loops on. And held it nice and tight. For a good portion of the night, I actually had this door just like this. Probably about 1 in the morning, it started to get pretty cold, so I dropped the door and zipped it up a little bit. All right, got all my stakes out. Yeah, I was mentioning before about Big Agnes and their tie-out points and stakes. On each corner, they have guy lines, but they don't give you stakes for those guy lines. They give you enough for the tent and the fly to pull it out. So technically, I should probably go out and buy 4 more stakes. All right, stakes are out. All right, now under here, you're probably not gonna see it well from way over there, but there's a cross member that goes across here, and one end of it fits in a pocket here, one end of it fits in another pocket on the other side. But all I gotta do, grab it and pull it out of that pocket. Not very hard at all. The fly is actually held down with buckles, so you just undo the buckle. This is the air vent, which you can pop open. Now the tent is not symmetrical, so they have color-coded the ends. Trying to get off all the ants. All right. Gonna stuff the fly in the stuff sack. All right, so there's the fly. Stay. Now I'm gonna undo this center peak pole, just like that. 3 sections to it, and it's all bungee together, and they clip right into these little clear caps. And then you have this one clip here that will actually pull the top of the tent up onto this. And I will put this one in the bag. All right, now I can go through and I can just unclip the tent from the poles. This Big Agnes also has multiple ways you can set it up. I could technically go out without the tent. I could take the fly and the poles. The fly will just brace on the poles. I can use the ground sheet, which also was not included with the tent. I had to buy that separate. Sleep on the ground sheet with a fly over me. That wouldn't be too bad. All right, to pull out my poles here. Like I said, everything's color coordinated, or color coded. So down here, the straps are white, both on the ground sheet and the tent. So both of those are white. And then over on this side here, they're an orange color. And the poles are the same way, kinda. The end of this pole here, it's not white, but it's got the clip there. But then on these, you can see that the end is orange. So these orange ends go on those. And then all the poles are linked together on this central hub right here. So technically this is all one big unit, which is kind of nice and kind of a pain in the butt at the same time. So, all right, so that's my poling system. All right, there's all my poles. I'm just trying to shake out any loose dirt that is in the tent. That's why I kept the door open, so I could just shake out dirt. Yeah, looks like I got pretty much all of it. Cool. All right, I'm gonna quickly try to throw my poles into the bag, get it around the fly. There we go. So I've got my poles in there now. And now I'm just grabbing stuff. All right, so that's all in there now. I can throw my little bag of stakes in there. And this has its own little stuff sack that I can put it in. You know, it's high humidity today, but because the wind is blowing and the temperatures are decently cool, I'm not sweating a whole lot. Not like I was last night. Last night my shirt was drenched in sweat, and I am not exaggerating. Yeah, man, that little buckle didn't want to stay down in there. All right, so there is my footprint, ground sheet, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna put that in the bag, and there we go. All right. Oh, there. Kind of look like a dork, but it works for me, right? All right, just a quick look around, make sure I didn't leave any stakes behind or wads of paper or anything like that. I'm not seeing anything. All right, let's go. All right up here is the stairs to get down to the main path. Oh, they're wooden. I actually thought they were stone when I got here last night. I couldn't see them very well though. All right, let's finish off the hike. We're gonna go and continue the loop. Okay, I'm gonna be upset that I didn't listen to my wife and grab the bug spray. I was like, the winds are blowing pretty decent. I don't think the bugs will be too bad. And I'll be sitting in my tent most of the time, so why do I need bug spray? Because I'm going to be out of the tent walking, you dumb piece of shit. Oh, should have grabbed the bug spray. Especially after having that full week of rain. Everything is just wet and prime breeding ground for mosquitoes. Came up to the little cleared area. Of course, in the wintertime it was a lot clearer than this. There were no ground coverings. It was just all snow. I could not see my car from up here because of all the foliage in the trees and stuff. But basically now, all I gotta do is walk down the hill and get to the parking lot. And our little solo night camping adventure is done. So, see you at the car. Oh, looky there. Jen will be happy your car's still here. It didn't get towed away or nothing. I'm just kidding. They wouldn't have towed it away. This is technically a camping site, so people can come and park overnight. Okay. So yeah, as far as hunting goes, this is the only thing that they list is this limited access archery hunting. That's it. That's the only thing they can do here. So even though it's hunting season, these grounds are still good for like backpacking and hiking. You're not having to worry about, you know, a deer hunter wondering if you have antlers or not. All right, well, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching. Thanks for joining me on this adventure, and I will see you on the road.